We're talking to Mr. LGreenlee and Mr. Big Fellow Willie Sims about youth violence and economic well-being. And one of the things, Mr. Greenlee, that we wanted to sort of follow up was this whole idea of economic self-help that you introduced before we had our first commercial break. Let's talk about that.
Well, think about this. How can we talk about giving people jobs, and especially if you look in the inner city where there's all these issues of crime, but even in their own community, there's not even an opportunity to get a job. You take one felon, you destroy his life for the rest of his life, and at the same time, even me as being a black man doesn't own enough in my own community to employ him. We got to deal with this. You know, we got to get back to wanting to buy our own, listen, our own community. Not saying we're supposed to own everything in our community, but shouldn't we own at least majority of whatever in our community? Why should we ever have to go over here to buy from this person, that person? Well, let me say the prime example of it. We own all the beauty shops and the barber shops, but we buy hair.
All right.
I don't have to say it anymore.
Okay.
It doesn't even make sense for us to have all of this and we buy hair from another person who has no interest in putting that money in the same community which we own all the beauty shops and the barber shops. We have to get serious, get down and quit begging, and let's put something together that'll work for not just us as African Americans, but it ends up helping the whole United States of America. Because if I'm helping myself, then I'm not begging for the government's money, trillions and trillions of dollars. Now I'm adding billions and billions to it. That's, I mean, how hard could that be for a man to see? So what happens is we won't stand up and start to developing to sacrifice for the next 30 years. So we want all our stuff right now. We want to have all our big cars, and all our big, we want it like microwave right now. But we have to stop and realize now, let's put our resources back for our future. Let's quit spending all of our monies, and I'm talking about not having no savings in the next 5 or 10 years anyway. Why don't we cut back? Start back to buying our community back. You know, we ain't trying to say we're trying to kick nobody out of the community, but what we're saying is, don't our kids need jobs too? Don't we need a job? Yes, because look at the unemployment rate and look at the violence. If you tell me that everybody that does violence does it because that's what he want to do, that's not fair. Some men have to, you've caught people in stores now stealing Pampers and stuff for the kids. Now, you're not a thief if you go in there stealing some Pampers to put on your kids' clothes. Now, come on, that's not a thief. That's a man who's in desperate need, or a woman in desperate need of something that has to be done, and they don't have the resources nor the money to do it. That's where we at.
Mr. Sims, what would you say in reference to some of this?
Man, just add on to what Lonnie's saying. I think it parallels kind of what goes on in the world as a whole. So you got all the self-help books and all that, and right now you got the holistic medicine. I like what we talking about because it's a holistic approach to fixing the problem. Even though, you know, we're not really we don't like to fix problems overall. Doctors don't really fix it. They just help you kind of, you know, help you patch it up, make you feel better about it. But I think we need to fix, we need to actually fix it. We start fixing something, we'll have a problem in the end. And it's a long, slow process, but we need a holistic approach. We need to do the stuff that's gonna hurt, as well as the stuff that's gonna help, the stuff you don't like, as well as the stuff you do like. It all kind of go together. And that's where we're missing the kids at. We're missing the kids because nobody's giving them anything real. Nobody tell them, they don't tell us nothing real. They tell us it's like school. They teach us stuff. Who gonna have a, you don't use Shakespeare in real life unless you go on to do something else. They don't teach us how to live. They don't teach us how to balance a checkbook, how to get a debit card, you know, how to take care of a family, you know. They don't teach us that stuff that just happens to us, and then we gotta react to it. And it's hard as a kid reacting to some grown man worldly problems, you know. It's hard as a grown man reacting to grown man worldly problems, you know.
You know, one of the things, and of course we have a guest who's going to come with us sometime soon, dealing with one of many of these problems, And one of the things, and I'm not sure about how this is going to sound, but one of the things that has been suggested in terms of just one word that would cover the whole thing, that would solve the whole problem, the word is LOVE.
Ooh.
Now, I mean, that's the only thing that in terms of trying to bring, because what it means what? Respect, understanding, and goodwill.
That's right.
Now, if you could bring all three of those characteristics, respect, and I think that would solve a lot, that would help us deal with a lot of problems.
Y'all older, what happened to the love, man? I watch videos, man, from back in the day. It looked like people loved each other, man. What happened to that?
At least they could get along with one another, and they respected one another, and they tried to understand one another. And I think that...
Y'all see, I'm not old enough to have seen it. What happened?
You know what happened? We went to build everybody's house but our own. That's what, see, we got our educations. We want to go join this corporate. We want to go join everybody. We didn't even feel comfortable being our own. Listen, man. And then all of a sudden, there's the streets, and there's the stuff with all the educated people want to come back to the streets. So you got so many people and kids now who's selling dope and stuff that their mamas and daddies are doctors and stuff all their life. But they wind up seeing some things, they'd rather go on the streets and deal with it. Man, we got to get realistic and pull ourselves back and realize, okay, yeah, we got to air our dirty laundry. We got some dirty laundry to air. Let's air it and get it out of the way. This man and I, we don't have that many more years. And plus, I don't have that many more years plus to be playing, okay? Pussyfooting around, I call it, with this stuff. We have to get real serious. Come back home. See, I got to enjoy living around you. I got to enjoy being who I am. Whoever I am is who I am. Let's do that. We get back, man. And if you can't right now get back, give your money. See, let's start with these programs that you see that's working. Don't just give your money to anybody. But if you see a track working and you see these folks working, start helping these folks, man, because you only got a few more years left. And we can make a difference with those little bit.
Especially those young people.
Listen,
yeah.
I tell everybody all the time, we need help. And first of all, in our own community, we are sick, man. We are sick. We need some help in healing. And it's going to take millions and millions of dollars with millions of people involved with their resources. And if not, we're going to keep on talking the same talk 15, 20, 30, 40, 100, 150, 200 years from now. We'll never come to a solution. We'll always be crying about a problem. Why? Because once that money gets down to a certain spot, it stops.
And it leaves all those that are under that spot destitute.
Just like they was in the beginning. That's all. And it's not nobody else's job to come in. There's no cavalry coming over there that's going to save us. We are the cavalry sitting right here now. When do we, you know, the program that we're doing now, the movement, right? Let's buy our community back. When folks see what we're doing, we'll have a model. We can't talk about this stuff to everybody else begging.
Why don't you talk about that model that you're talking about?
See, we said that.
We got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
I took 5 to 7 younger folks, okay? Not nobody my age, but we had to argue and debate on this. Somebody that may see the future. So I've sat down and put a thing called Let's Buy Our Community Back, a movement. Not a campaign, not a movement. Where we're gonna take our own monies until we get enough money to buy this store, this shop, and this stuff back. I don't care how long it takes. We're not going to beg anybody. We're going to be self-sufficient, and we're going to build. Once after the 5 to 7 years, when you see this mall, then you can take this mall anywhere in the United States that you want to go. But we have to do it first. We can't do all this talking about what we're going to do. We have to see ourselves buying our stuff back.
I think the kids, see, the kids understand that. It's kind of even, if you look at the whole hip-hop, we understand that from, you got, in a weird way, these companies that went out and built their own businesses, then they went to the big labels and did business with them. Not just, I'm coming to you and I want you to put all your resources behind me. You put up all the risk. I just get to reap the benefits. It's like, no, we already put the risk up. We want to just take it to a bigger place, and we can combine what we have and what y'all have. I think that's what we talking about doing, something like that.
Okay, and of course we've got about 45 seconds before we come to the end of this show today. Mr. Greenlee and Big Fellow, and I can only say that we certainly appreciate having the two of you come by and to at least introduce some old ideas. There's nothing that is new here.
Say it,
yeah,
man.
nothing is new here,
Yes.
but to simply know that that is still an option in terms of how people might be able to solve problems. And I believe that if we demonstrate that, then you'll find all kinds of resources that will come outside of the community that would support that point of view. You see, and of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you, and